Podcast.
Hello and welcome to PMC English. I'm Idris and with me is
Ayushi, and welcome back to our series of podcasts.
and today we have our special guest again, Mr. Ved Vyas, and we have a topic here. Ayushi has decided. Ayushi, please.
Yeah. So today we will be discussing about the overthinking. I know many of you go through this overthinking aspect as to how to address it. So today we have Mr. Vedavyas with us who is going to address this
A
issue.
very warm welcome, sir.
Thank you.
So, what is overthinking like, and how do we address this issue?
Overthinking is like when you are worried about something or when something that's bothering you and something is very important and you are not sure it's going to go well. This worry leads to thinking more than required, which is like sort of, how can I not be worried? Is the usual question. So when we have this question, it means that usually we are overthinking, because whatever we are thinking, it's not really productive at that point. Because we know something has to be done and we have done it, or there is nothing we can do at that point. And still we are thinking, we are not able to let it go and focus on something else that is more required at that point. So this is the issue of the overthinking. The problem with overthinking is that in my research or observation, if overthinking is reduced at workplaces, there is at least 20 to 30% in increase in the work efficiency. You can do that much more work done. So most of the time, people work time is lost in overthinking. We think that we are doing a lot of things, but actually most of the time we are only thinking and not doing.
Wasting time.
I would rather they would not even know that they are wasting time. It's as if they are actually thinking about work.
They're putting their energy on something which is not required at that particular moment of time.
That's also not true in a sense, because they're putting their mind on something that needs to be done, but it's not optimal use of that energy. So because thinking itself means sometimes it's about just getting lost in our own fears, and overcoming fears is part of the job, right? So if we have not overcome the fears and worries and everything, if we let them bog them out, there is about 30 to 50% loss in work efficiency. So addressing this issue will result in much higher productivity.
Okay, now the question is how to address it.
Yes.
But before that, I have a question.
Okay.
With an example. Now that we're talking about the work, you're saying that work efficiency can be more if we reduce that. So generally what we go through is that before we give the output, suppose we are working on a program, and then before that output comes, we start overthinking as to what others are going to talk about, or what the audience reaction would be on it, or what our head would think about it. So all this multiple thoughts, it leads to a lot of thinking, like a lot of overthinking. So how do we address that issue?
So when you are overthinking, if you think that you are overthinking, especially because you are identified, many people don't even know that they are overthinking. So identifying that we are overthinking or not is one aspect. The once we have identified that yes, I am overthinking, then we can look into the how to address it. So let's first cover how to address it, then we'll come back to how to identify it.
Okay.
Okay. So when we are overthinking, we know that there's a lot of time I'm losing here. Just ask yourself, what is the emotion? What am I afraid of? What is that particular thing?
If it comes to programs, then I don't want myself to put down in that particular situation.
Who puts you down?
I myself is putting myself
Exactly.
down.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
It's a self-judgment.
Yes.
Before even anybody else judges you or not, because most of the time what other people judge is fleeting, in the sense that they judge and they forget. But when we feel that we are judged, we start to become overcritical of ourselves. That is a challenge. In psychology, there is how relationships go bad. If you look into that, Initially, when you make new friends or maybe newly married people, the relationship is very good. They are very interested in getting to know each other. There are no negative feelings, no bad history behind it. So when we are in such new relationship, it's very interesting and we like to spend time with them, and this is a positive period. It's a growth period. What slows down this growth period, do you know that? What slows down the growth is, while going through that relation, while we spend time with them, there are some things we don't like about them.
Probably it's judgments.
Probably. So there are some things we don't like about them, and those little things hurt us. They are not significant, but they keeps hurting us. And when these things keep accumulating, we get worried that these are things that are going to take over in the long term. And suddenly these things become more important than the positive things. Okay, that is what happens in a relationship with others. What happens with the relationship with ourselves? We have been living with us for so long. Longest person I'm living with is
Self.
self. So how bad is my relationship with myself? How worried am I about myself? Right? So this is the key to overthinking, is because I'm so worried about myself. Is it that I'm going to make mistake? Is it I'm going to create regrets? It could be about whatever. And repairing that relationship will repair every other relationship. And our work performance and everything suddenly shifts in our life.
Right.
So the whole aspect of what we say overthinking is buried in our own opinion about ourselves. So first, how do I identify what is my opinion about myself? It's very simple, that what am I afraid of? It's not about one event. It will be a pattern. Usually it's a pattern. We may see that this is the only time I am facing this, but if you check, not the event, but the emotion behind it, that emotion gets repeated.
Yes.
Right? So check, what am I afraid of for myself?
Most of the time it is the fear of failing.
Fear of failure, good. Anything else you would like to add?
There could be a lot of factors actually.
But what is that for you?
For me,
Yeah.
I don't overthink.
Check, what are you afraid of most?
Afraid of nothing.
Bad image?
No, not at all.
Not at all? Are you sure?
Yes, 200% sure.
In the previous episode, I guess we did discover that.
We should accept the life the way it is.
Yes. Good. So the point is that sometimes we are afraid of bad image so much that we don't even want to recognize and address it. We will just want to forget it.
I got
so
it.
that I'll at least have good image of myself.
Right.
Okay? And that's natural part of psychology. But that's not the point today. But the whole point is that what am I worried about? Whether I like it or not, it is affecting. If I have to give my own example, recently by working on myself, I discovered that the biggest thing that was influencing my life all along, behind different layers of other things, at the core was loneliness. I was really surprised because I never felt lonely. I was perfectly happy being alone. If you leave me alone and if I get food in time and a comfortable space to sleep, I'm happy. Maybe I'll require a mobile to read some, or a Kindle also is fine.
So you love your own company.
Yes.
Like me. Even
So,
I like that.
But when I go deeper into my emotions, what is that really driving me was, there was, in some sense, it was loneliness energy inside me. My greatest fear about loneliness is in this form of something like abandonment. I don't like being abandoned or rejected. So if there is a scope for that, I'd rather avoid it and be alone and be happy than confront the world. So that to identify that this is my problem, it took years. Because I'm perfectly happy with my own self. And spiritually, if you look at it, being happy with one own self is the best thing that can happen to you. But recognizing that this is my biggest problem was a great revelation to me.
I hope it's not a problem for me.
We'll all discover as we go ahead, when we really want to grow, we go deeper into deeper ourselves, and we'll see what is actually the reason behind the way we are, why we are. And then we'll shift that. And we'll work on it. Unless we recognize something, we can't change it. And just because we recognize it doesn't mean it changes. It will take effort. It will take time. That's fine. So the overthinking part, again, it's all about identifying what is that one thing that is actually we are worried about, not in the specific event, but as a pattern, as an energy, as a belief system. What am I really believing in here? If I know what am I believing in, then I can work on it. Then the next question that comes it is, what is the intensity of that fear? Right? If the intensity is low, it's easy to work on. If the intensity is high, then it takes much more effort. Meditation or healing or even professional help might be required. Right. So I have a scale. Usually I give people who want to identify what it is. So if you have any fear, if the intensity on a scale of 1 to 10, it's very subjective. For each person, 1 to 10 is different. Right. But let us assume that it is somewhat similar. Okay? If your fear is 1 to 5, then it won't bother you much. It's only occasionally happening. And you will be able to address it the moment you identify that this is fear. If the fear is 6 to 7, then it will prevent you from thinking properly. If it is below 3, if the fear, like you said, I don't have fear of bad image, if it is 0 to 3, then it means that we are actually what we call suppressing it or repressing it. Everybody has fears, but if we see that I am not afraid, then you are definitely afraid of something bigger. Okay? So if you are not completely afraid, then you are realized spiritually, that level like Buddha realization, that's a different level that we are speaking about. Normal people, if someone says, I am not afraid of anything, then they are really afraid of something so much that they don't even want to acknowledge. Okay, that is 0 to 3. So there is a bigger fear that we are not acknowledging. And a 3 to 5 is something that we can easily address. It's not a problem yet. And just by being aware, it's okay, if I recognize that in this point I'm getting afraid, then I can easily address it by myself. I don't need any help. If it is 5 to 7, the intensity is a little higher, then probably we'll need to learn something to overcome it. When we are having 0 to 3, it means that we are avoiding a bigger problem and we don't have capacity to address it. So we choose to ignore it and we say that we are not afraid of it. If it is 3 to 5, then it is a healthy fear that we are able to recognize and address it whenever it comes. If it is 5 to 7, then it is a little bit problem. We are not able to address it. It is consistently bothering us. But if you attend some training programs or motivational programs or anything that consistently addresses this fear, then we can, with practice, with guidance, or with friends or family, whoever it is, we can actually overcome that with positive support system. Once it goes beyond 7, it requires sort of professional help. Family help is not enough to address it in short term. Maybe it might take many years to address it once it goes beyond 7 or 8. If it is 7 or 8 only in 1 or 2 events also it's fine because we have that capacity to handle. But if it's consistently happening beyond 7 and 8, then no amount of training, learning, because that's the point where learning stops. We can't learn anything new. in that aspect, it's become a block now. We can only be worried and increase our helplessness energy. Until 7, we know we can do something. So we are not really helpless. Sometimes we may feel helpless. But the moment it goes beyond 7, 8, 9 or 10, then we are really helpless. So at that moment, you will need professional help. So that is when the fear is consistently at higher levels, you need that support to address it. Otherwise also by spirituality, meditation and all these things, we reduce its effect. We avoid it as much as possible. And maybe in long term you might be able to even address it. But it's much easier to address it in short term within few months or weeks by taking professional help. So you have to check. These are the worries if you are having, the intensities of the energies that you have. If it is something 0 to 3, then if it's not bothering, that is fine. But if you acknowledge that it is bothering you or people around you keep on saying that this is a problem with you, then there is something you need to address and you want to address it, then take a professional. If it is up to 7 also, you can manage it with proper training programs or workshops and everything, the transformational short-term things, 1 week retreats and everything, you can address them up to 7 or 8 at the most. But beyond 8, if it is 9 or 10, or some people it's beyond 10, that is, they cannot even imagine how difficult it is. For them, short-term stopgap arrangements like attending a retreat or something will also stop helping. It will reduce the intensity and help them avoid it, because these are big energy drains on our consciousness. And when something drains continuously so much, and if you attend a retreat, it will recharge you so that you will be able to face next 1 week. But after that, again you will start doing this. So deeper transformations sometimes at that energy level where it's 8, 9, 10 or beyond definitely need professional help. And you have to find someone you trust who is capable, qualified and who has handled such situations, handled such clients and given good results, and trust them and go and get help and get out of it. Because otherwise you are blocking your progress in that direction for a long, long time. So overthinking is not one thing, it's many things. So we need to check what is the intensity of the overthinking and where is it coming from. I've seen that people have few issues which might be 7, 8 or 9 and those are blocking them. If they go for life coaching or probably some sort of therapy, within 1 month they can actually overcome that and become much better at their work. But if they let it fester and keep on going it beyond, the intensity keeps on increasing until they learn. It will become more complicated. This is the reason why most people can't be in a single job for a long time. Because as the time passes, the newness wears off and the overthinking keeps on increasing, because the number of fears that are getting triggered in the new job will keep on increasing. If the intensity is keeping on high, they can't tolerate beyond such a point. Instead of addressing the challenges inside themselves and becoming consistent in their growth in something, it's easier to change a job these days. So even if you see, there are some people cannot tolerate it beyond 6 months. Some people cannot tolerate it beyond a year. Luckily for some people, job change means increase in salary.
Right.
But for those people for whom it is not, it's a real problem.
Right.
If you are at least talented in work, then job change will increase in salary and create growth. That's the reason this is not being addressed also. People feel that they are okay. But to what extent? When their job becomes saturated, that there is no higher pay in that, and they have to move into adapt to something else, that is the point they feel crisis. Like they have to move from specialization in coding to management. There is a limit how much a coder is paid.
Yes.
Beyond that payment, he has to become a manager. And he doesn't have any skills in management. So how is he going to grow after that? So that is the point where usually people come for professional help. So this overthinking, to address it, we have to address the inner fear and identify the intensities in it, and then work on them. So once you identify intensities, again, 0 to 3 is something we are avoiding. We are not ready to acknowledge it, so we are not prepared to address it. 3 to 5, be aware of what's happening. Just by practicing meditations, we become aware of our fears and patterns and everything. And using these patterns and consciousness, you can address them, and it's a healthy fear. 5 to 7, attend workshops, retreats, all these things to overcome these things, and they'll work perfectly. Training
And after that,
programs,
see a
motivational
professional.
speeches, even sometimes YouTube speeches, everything, whatever you do for personal development helps the fears in this range. 8 to 10, you need professional.
Since you've been a life coach and you, treat such people who come with such issues in their lives, what has been the best and the worst case?
There has not been any worst case, I would say. All are best case for me. So difference is between how challenging a client is or how easy a client is. So there might be bigger issues which can be easily solved because the client has done a lot of work on themselves. I have one client who is another life coach. There were a lot of deeper issues, but the moment I identify this is the issue, can you let this energy go? Take a deep breath and let that energy go, and it is done. So that's very easy to address, right? And there are clients who have very tough challenges because they have past life issues and which are very severe, and it take multiple healing sessions and long-term coaching. See, what happens is once we try to help someone with severe issues, they psychologically, mind, body and everything is used to being in the old way. For it to realize that shift has happened and things have changed in a new direction and settle in a new direction takes time. It might take 1 month time. Then once we keep on shifting them slowly to the capacity that they can move. You can't directly shift from -100 to -10. It has to come -100 to -90, -80, -70, -50 and so on. It has to come down. Then we'll take it to 0, then positive movement will happen. So because the mind cannot take, it has to adapt. So it's a slow process, it takes time. For example, if the intensity of a fear is 8 or 9, it takes just about 2 to 3 weeks to clear it off. Or sometimes even in one session it's gone. But if someone has 10 and someone has 100, the scale of 1 to 10, what is 100? It's because it's very severe and very long term, and it's coming from past lives or many such different challenges. Then we have to identify those challenges and slowly bring them out of it. By the time they become so helpless that they are not ready to accept that they have any control at all. So we have to build their personality to be able to accept that they have control in their life. Sometimes that building of their personality takes a year or 2 also. Sometimes the building of personality takes just a couple of months. So depending upon severity, it takes time. But it can be done.
How to identify overthinking, because many of the people, they go through this challenge that they don't even know that they are overthinking. So for them, how do they identify it?
See, usually people who are not identifying overthinking is because they are happy with their life. So there are some people whose problems they face. So if I have a problem, I am facing the consequences. There are some people whose problems, consequences are faced by people around them. So I am not bothered by whatever I am. It is your problem if you are bothered. Right? So these are the 2 things that we need to see. Who is getting bothered? If like there is a very confident boss and he doesn't know how to deal with the team, then who will get affected most? Boss or the team? Team, obviously. So the point is there are some people who are so confident, who are so good image about themselves that everybody else is bothered but not them. So these people are not willing to change, so they won't even be ready to identify it. Only when they are affected negatively and they are in pain, at that point they start examining. And then they know they have the problem, then they have to check the intensity. What is the intensity of this pain for me in this event? How frequently is this happening? And that will give them answer. For those people who are already facing their challenges with others, for them they only have to identify that instead of the biggest challenge here is our tendency to blame others. Right? We always want others to be responsible for our problems. If this person didn't do that, I won't be this way. If that person didn't do that, this won't be a problem. But that is not the issue. You are not able to deal with it. Accept. Of course, they also have some part of the problem. But you also are not able to deal with it. So when we are able to accept that, yes, I am also to some extent, not completely, but to some extent. Some people make it over, that I am responsible for everything. That also is not healthy. But they are also getting affected. But the issue is not about how much responsibility you are feeling. If you are feeling less responsible and blaming others, the blame game is the reason you are not able to identify overthinking. That is the key. If there is a tendency to blame, you are again avoiding growth. Then comes the, once you have overcome these two issues, if that these two are not your issues, then you are ready to identify that, yes, I want to see if I am overthinking, and then the same, the scale, how frequently and what are different patterns that are affecting me. Write down a diary every day. What is the intensity of the problems I face today? How many are in the range of 3 to 5? How many are in the range of 5 to 7? How many are in the range of 8 to 10? And then you'll know what to do. If it is 3 to 5, then that's good. If it is 0, you feel that there is something you are strongly avoiding. If you want to address it, you want to find out, find a professional help. If you are not ready to address it, then it doesn't matter right now because it's not in the pain. It will come at some point. And if it is 5 to 7, then you need to learn something. So find out what you need to learn on various YouTube or attend a workshop or something, a training program or motivational program, and improve yourself. And if it's beyond, those things are not helping, then you know you need professional help in that particular aspect. The issue with Indian population is very few people are comfortable with taking professional help. They think that as if you take professional help, then you are a bad person. No, everybody is suffering. The point is, how long do you want to suffer? There is a solution. And you can afford it. So why not? Why not make your life easy, right? It's as simple as that.
Well, thank you so much for giving insights about this particular topic, and we learned a lot, and I'm sure this will help our viewers. And the key point is that we should not ignore such issues. We need to come forward and take the professional help. Thank you so much, viewers, for joining us. Thank you for watching this program. We are signing off. I'm Idris, and with me is
Ayushi.
And we thank our guest, Mr. Vedvyas, for joining us today. Thank you so much.
Keep watching PMC English and do not forget to visit our website www.pmcenglish.com.
And yes, do not forget to like, share and subscribe this video.
Thank you.